The moment you realize that yesterday's kitchen waste can quietly transform tomorrow's harvest, gardening stops feeling ordinary and starts feeling ancient, powerful, and deeply satisfying. Long before bottled fertilizers and synthetic boosters, growers relied on fire, ash, and intuition to feed their soil. Today on Crop Corner, we're reviving that forgotten wisdom and turning something most people throw away into a potent, natural soil amendment that can change how your garden grows. This isn't folklore or nostalgia. Wood ash and plant ash have been feeding crops for thousands of years, and when used correctly, they still outperform many modern inputs. Let's dive straight into how this works, why it matters, and exactly how to use it without harming your soil. Ash is not waste. It is the mineral skeleton of plants, concentrated after fire removes carbon and moisture. When you burn clean, untreated plant material like dry branches, pruned twigs, corn cobs, or even nutshells, what remains is a mineral-rich powder loaded with potassium, calcium, magnesium, and trace elements. Potassium alone plays a massive role in flower production, fruit size, disease resistance, and overall plant strength. Ancient farmers understood something modern gardeners often forget. Soil fertility is not just about nitrogen, it's about balance. Ash doesn't push leafy growth the way nitrogen does. Instead, it strengthens cell walls, improves root function, and helps plants move sugars efficiently. That's why ash-treated soils were famous for producing sturdier crops that stored better and resisted pests naturally. When ash meets soil, it does more than just feed plants. It actually changes the whole soil environment. Ash is alkaline, so it raises the soil pH. In acidic soils, this can unlock nutrients that, well, were previously unavailable. Calcium from ash improves soil structure too, helping clay soils drain better and sandy soils hold on to nutrients a bit longer. Potassium in ash dissolves quickly in water, making it immediately available to plants. Unlike slow-release organic matter, ash delivers fast results, when it's used correctly, of course. That speed is both its strength and, honestly, its danger. Overuse can burn roots or push soil pH too high, which is why precision really matters. Only ash from clean, natural materials belongs in your garden. Burned hardwood branches, fruit tree prunings, straw, untreated wood, dried leaves, and vegetable stalks. These are all acceptable. Ash from charcoal briquettes, painted wood, plywood, furniture, or anything chemically treated is toxic and, well, must never touch soil used for food crops. The color of good ash is light gray to white fine in texture and free of sharp debris. Large charcoal chunks should be crushed or removed. Always store ash dry because moisture causes nutrients to leach away. One of the most powerful ways to use ash is as an ash water fertilizer. This method delivers potassium directly to plant roots and leaves, while allowing precise control over concentration. To make a safe and effective ash solution, just mix 1 tablespoon of sifted wood ash into 1 gallon of clean water. Stir thoroughly and let the mixture sit for 12 to 24 hours, stirring occasionally. After settling, pour the liquid gently into a watering can, leaving any heavy sediment behind. This solution can be applied directly to soil around fruiting plants like tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, squash, and flowering ornamentals. Use this ash water no more than once every 3 weeks. Over-application is unnecessary and counterproductive. This formula works best during flowering and early fruit development when potassium demand peaks. Dry ash works best when it's lightly applied and blended into the soil. For garden beds, you want to use no more than 1 cup of ash for every 10 square feet of soil each season. Just sprinkle it evenly and give it a good watering right away to help those nutrients move down into the root zone. And remember, never pile ash at the base of plants, since concentrated contact can actually damage the stems and roots. In compost, ash acts more like a mineral booster than a main ingredient. You should add only thin layers, about half a cup for each wheelbarrow of compost material. This way, you prevent excessive alkalinity, but still enrich your finished compost with those handy trace minerals. Ash is just perfect for crops that like their soil a bit on the alkaline side and need plenty of potassium. Tomatoes, beans, peas, carrots, beets, cabbage, broccoli, fruit trees and grapevines all do well when ash is used sparingly and strategically. Plants that prefer acidic soil should never receive ash. Blueberries, potatoes, azaleas, rhododendrons, and strawberries, well, they really suffer when soil pH rises. For these plants, ash disrupts nutrient uptake and reduces yield, so it's best to keep it far away from them. Understanding your soil's needs is honestly more important than just following trends. If your soil is already neutral or, even alkaline, ash should be used with extreme restraint or maybe even avoided entirely. Traditional growers, they never applied ash randomly. They timed it. Late winter and early spring were prime moments, letting rain and melting frost carry minerals downward before planting. A second, lighter application during flowering supported fruit formation without shocking roots. That's how you get the best results. Ash was never used on young seedlings or freshly transplanted crops. Plants need time to establish roots before receiving mineral-heavy inputs. Respecting this rhythm prevents stress and, really maximizes the benefits. The biggest mistake gardeners make is treating ash like compost. It is not organic matter. It's actually a concentrated mineral input. Applying too much too often leads to nutrient lockout, stunted growth, and even microbial imbalance. Another mistake is mixing ash with nitrogen fertilizers like manure or urine-based teas. This combination, it causes nitrogen loss through volatilization, wasting valuable nutrients. Ash should really be applied separately, ideally weeks apart from nitrogen-heavy inputs. Using ash reconnects you to a closed-loop gardening system where waste becomes wealth. Kitchen scraps feed fire, fire feeds soil, soil feeds plants, and plants return food to the kitchen. This cycle, reduces dependence on external inputs and builds long-term soil resilience. In a world of quick fixes and expensive products, ash reminds us that true fertility often comes from what we already have. When used with respect and restraint, this ancient method honestly delivers modern results. If you found this guide valuable and want more time-tested techniques that actually work in real gardens, make sure to subscribe to Crop Corner. Share this with a fellow gardener who loves turning scraps into abundance, and keep growing smarter, not harder.